the BBC alone has about 65% of the drama output are continuing soap operas, 3/4 of which are doctors. They're all over, just about all over 25 years. Some of them make their daily 250 episodes a year. Some of them only 50 episodes, 50 one-hour episodes. And it's, there's the original drama is that much of what it should be. And also, which I'll talk about later, it's produced a battery writing. It's what we were talking about before, industrialized writing, where the writer has very little say. And I heard one producer say, writers are like tea bags, they're disposable. And yes, and a lot are being treated like that. And unfortunately, as producers and executives get promoted to do the higher end dramas, some of them keep the same mindset. So it's not great for creativity.
I'm writing doctor series, and the series I'm writing, it has up to 9 million people watching it every week. So of course the network's executive said, why should we stop that? And the thing is, I think we really have to discuss for whom we are writing, because my 17-year-old daughter, she's highly embarrassed about the stuff I'm writing, because she does not even know where ZDF and ARD, you can find them on TV? Ooh, no idea, because she streams everything, and of course legally, and of course she does everything, and she simply is not interested in all the stuff that comes from public broadcasters. And the thing is, I mean, we are not young as we sit here, so I think, okay, not so, so I think, okay,
moving on.
No. Yeah, so I mean, really, of course, for whom are we writing? Which realities write? And why? How can we go to the producers and say, hey, we have the really, really good stuff, the interesting stories we are burning for. We want to write.
Do we have any kind of commitment to keep on producing detectives and doctors series? No. If we don't find a new way to approach to that specific genre, why should we? I mean,
it would have been the easiest thing in the world for the BBC to do Sherlock Holmes again, in the original Victorian, get some costumes from Downton Abbey, save money. But Stephen Moffat, who also writes Doctor Who, who's an incredible writer and a lovely man, he just suddenly, on a train journey with Mark Gatiss, whom he's doing it with, went, what if? And it's the what ifs. And I always also have a mantra, which is let writers write. It's the what ifs that makes the greatest work.
Formats in Bulgaria don't work. We don't buy formats. We actually bought 6. All of them were flops. People don't like adapted formats in Bulgaria. I don't know why. Maybe we're very strange people and we want something very original. But we bought a Spanish format, we bought 2 Canadian formats, we bought 2 American formats. They all had half a season, less than half a season, 1 season, and they collapsed. And I believe this is because people, when they read in the media that this is a format, they start behaving differently. They start watching it differently. They say, okay, let's see how they adapted this. And they start to watch the process of adaptation, which is strange because the audience should not be interested in the process of adaptation. If the story is really powerful, it should grab her. But in this case, the audience watches because some of them even have watched the original formats. And they say, okay, no, this is not good, this is not good, this is not what it was in the original format.
It's not about genre. What I mean is not about genre. It's about new ideas, fresh ideas, risky ideas. So it's about something, as you say, what is the kind of series I can find on TV tonight, and I would love to watch. That is to me is the starting point of everything.
Can I say, because I mean, one way to get new genres and to get some exciting writing is to fire about 10 layers of executives, because everything is executive driven, or a lot is. When a writer is left to themselves, we get magic. We've just had one of the best. BBC did an hour-and-a-half film for television called Marvelous. Please watch it, cherish it. It doesn't sound much. It's about a person with learning difficulties. It's not Forrest Gump, it's a true story. And it is the most funny, inspirational story. A man who has achieved everything in the world, and happily. And it's such an original story. Who would have thought of that? Executives play it safe. Executives, they're not creative. They're afraid for their jobs. They want to keep their jobs. It's doctors, detectives, that's all they know. And can I just say, if you're writing a doctor series and you have to do episodes like we're having the office party and we're going to put on a play, then your series should stop.
This this dimension of the anti-hero and the dark side of fiction that that is we are enjoying in through the American fiction. I mean, there's a clear line between The Sopranos and Breaking Bad and Donald Draper, and we writers, we love that because that has introduced that has created complex characters. It has added complexity to characters. But there's a problem, at least in Spain. I don't know what about you. No star wants to be the bad one. So there's this tension. I don't know what about in your writing, because we love complex characters. We love characters that can be bad. So being bad has become a good thing in modern fiction, or we can explore that side of human being, because that's what it is about. So, but we can do it. We can have it in our series.
I'd just like to make a little comment, Gail, regarding your view of soap writers as battery writers in an industrial process. I am a soap writer. I make my living writing soaps. The soap I work for is an Irish soap. It's called Fair City. It goes out 4 times a week, produces 100 hours of drama a year, using Irish actors, using Irish stories. It's culturally significant for our country. It regularly gets audiences of more than 400,000 per episode, and it pays me, and it gives me a living. We have complex characters, we have long story arcs. It actually does everything everybody here is talking about. So it really upsets me or pisses me off when people just go soap, and they use genre, which should be used simply as something descriptive, as something proscriptive, right? And most writers here who are making a living are doing the kind of stuff that I do, and are doing doctors and detectives. And it's grand, it's fine. And I think, yes, we can do other things, but I really did not want to let it go, that it's just kind of automatically accepted that soap writing is, no, battery. Can I just say we don't work in batteries? I work at home, I work in a library, I work in a cafe, anytime I like, any hours I like, as long as I hit my deadline, my time is my own. It's a good gig. I just wanted to say that.
No, I mean, I'll be the first to say I'm a great fan of Fair City. I was referring to certain British soap operas that have become, sort of a problem. I know it gives, our members at the Writers Guild a lot of employment, but when you have a soap that has three main storylines, which is, sort of young teenage pregnancy, rape, and also serial killers, because there's one soap that within two streets has more serial killers that you'd think no one would buy a house there by now. And it's that syndrome I'm talking about. And also, there are certain soaps that I know of, again, perhaps within Britain, where you have a lot of very unhappy writers that are not being treated well, and also do not do their own storyline and really have become disposable. So, I have the greatest respect for anyone who writes and who can make a living. More power to us, because it's the hardest thing to do. But it has to be looked at. But you're right, it's not a sweeping statement.